Three underrated teams could wreck the 2025 college football season. Every college football season throws us a curveball. A team no one expected suddenly knocks off a top contender, wins 9 or 10 games, and flips the entire playoff picture. And by the time fans catch on, it's already too late. For 2025, three programs are flying under the radar, but they won't be for long. They've got proven head coaches, revamped rosters, and schedules loaded with opportunities. The media might ignore them, but smart fans know be the cedar. Let's start with the Orange uprising in New York. Syracuse Orange, the SEC mindset, hits the ACC. If you haven't paid attention to Syracuse since Donovan McNabb, it's time to wake up. Head coach Fran Brown, now in his second season, has completely overhauled the culture. A former Georgia assistant and recruiting monster, Brown has brought SEC intensity to the Northeast. He's surrounded himself with firepower. On offense, Jeff Nixon returns as OC, and he's now joined by veteran analyst Josh Gaddis, formerly of Michigan and Miami. Defensively, Elijah Robinson continues to lead a nasty, multiple-look defense with NFL talent up front. But the biggest headline this offseason, Ricky Collins, a transfer quarterback from LSU, has officially been named the starter. Collins was a four-star dual-threat prospect coming out of high school, and after a strong spring, he earned the trust of the locker room and coaching staff. He brings mobility, poise, and enough arm talent to keep ACC defenses honest. He won't have to do it alone. Syracuse returns. Deuce Chestnut. S. Veteran leader, elite instincts, and a tone setter in the secondary. Darrell Gill Jr. WR. Emerging WR1 with strong hands and great body control. Yassine Willis. RB. Tough runner with upside, expected to carry the load in 2025. Mark Petrie. OL. Anchor of the offensive line with 24 consecutive starts. They've also reloaded through the portal, adding Austin Collins from Louisville to bolster the offensive line. Now, about that schedule, Syracuse faces one of the toughest slates in the country: Clemson, Miami, Notre Dame, SMU, and a potential top 25 Liberty team. But Fran Brown isn't scared. In fact, he wants the smoke. If Collins can find his rhythm early, Syracuse could wreck the ACC pecking order and become the most dangerous team nobody saw coming. Iowa State Cyclones. Campbell's revenge tour. Iowa State never makes headlines in July, but come November, you're wondering how the hell they ended up with 8 wins again. Head coach Matt Campbell, now in his 10th season, has built a culture of consistency, toughness, and quiet dominance. And 2025 might be his best shot yet. Leading the charge is Rocco Becht, who returns after throwing for over 3,500 yards and 25 touchdowns last year. He's efficient, confident, and has full command of the offense. The Cyclones return arguably the most experienced offensive line in the Big 12. Brendan Black, Dylan Barrett, and Tyler Miller bring over 100 combined starts. In the backfield, Carson Hansen is a rising star. He rushed for 752 yards and 13 touchdowns in 2024 and looks primed to explode this season. Tight end Gabe Burkle provides a big target in the red zone, and the receiving core is loaded with underrated depth. OC Taylor Mouser enters his second year and will have full flexibility to build around Becht's strengths. On defense, John Heacock is back, and that's bad news for everyone else. His 3-3-5 scheme confuses quarterbacks and frustrates offenses. It's been the foundation of Iowa State's defensive identity for years. And the schedule? It's a war zone. Iowa State opens the season in Dublin, Ireland against Kansas State. Then comes the Cy-Hawk showdown with Iowa, followed by games versus Arizona, Oklahoma State, TCU, and BYU. It's chaos, but it's also tailor-made for a team that thrives on discipline, depth, and making fewer mistakes. Don't be shocked if Iowa State finishes the year with 9 or 10 wins and ruins a contender's playoff hopes in the process. Indiana Hoosiers. The James Madison takeover. 2 years ago, Indiana was a mess. Now, they're one of the most intriguing teams in the Big Ten. That's because head coach Curt Cignetti brought his entire empire from James Madison, including offensive coordinator Mike Shanahan and defensive coordinator Bryant Haynes. In 2024, Indiana stunned everyone with 11 wins. In 2025, they're not sneaking up on anyone, but they might be even better. Their new quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, transferred from Cal and looked sharp in spring practices. He's calm, accurate, and runs the offense with efficiency. His go-to target, Elijah Sarrett, who hauled in 957 yards and 8 touchdowns last season. He's the most polished receiver in the Big Ten you've never heard of. Up front, Indiana returns 3 veteran linemen, including Carter Smith, who anchors the left side. Protection won't be a problem. Defensively, the Hoosiers have a dangerous front 7. Mikael Kamara brings edge rush explosiveness. Aaron Fisher holds down the linebacker core. D'Angelo Pons is already being talked about as a future Day 2 NFL draft pick at corner. This team is fast, physical, and confident. The only issue? The Big Ten schedule is no joke. Indiana faces Michigan, Washington, Penn State, and Iowa. But with Cignetti's fearless approach, they're not just trying to survive, they're aiming to steal wins. And if Mendoza delivers, Indiana could crash the top 20 by mid-season. Liberty Flames. From New Year's 6 to next-level threat. Liberty's not just maintaining momentum, they're quietly morphing into a legit threat. Under head coach Jamie Chadwell, the Flames are fresh off a 13-win season and a Fiesta Bowl appearance. For 2025, Ethan Vasco, a transfer from Coastal Carolina with nearly 3,000 passing yards and strong dual-threat stats, is projected to start at quarterback. Behind him, Ryan Berger, a redshirt junior with prior playing experience, and freshman Jaden Bradford and Michael Merdinger provide depth and spark from spring practices. That's a significant shift. Kaidon Salter, the dual-threat star who lit up Liberty in 2023 and led them to a perfect regular season, has transferred to Colorado. Liberty's quarterback landscape is changing, but it's loaded with promise. Here's why it still matters. Ethan Vasco brings FBS starting experience and efficiency, Coastal Carolina starter in 2023-24, with 2,110 passing yards and 14 touchdowns last year. Ryan Berger offers a solid backup option, though he missed spring practice due to injury. Chadwell's spread option offense thrives on QB mobility, pace, and adaptability, perfect for Vasco and beaten in even if he leaves early. Beyond the QB room, Liberty returns its powerhouse core, Julian Gray, a bruising RB with over 1,000 rush yards, an offensive line with continuity, returning 4 starters who helped top-tier rushing attacks in 2024. Defensively, Liberty remains opportunistic with game-changers like Tyron Dupree, sideline-to-sideline linebacker whose instincts fuel turnovers. Brylan Green, a veteran DB with ball-hawking ability. That's a recipe for winning. The schedule is solid too. Games against Syracuse, Appalachian State, UAB, East Carolina, and more will test Liberty's mettle early. Chadwell is proving this isn't just a group of 5 Cinderella story, it's a sustainable threat. And with Vasco at quarterback, Liberty looks equipped to keep the hype and upset rumblings alive. This is the calm before the chaos. Every preseason, the spotlight shines on the same predictable teams: Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, Ohio State. But what if the most dangerous programs in 2025 aren't in the spotlight at all? Let's zoom out for a second. Syracuse has built an SEC-caliber staff inside the ACC. Fran Brown isn't rebuilding. He's redefining what Syracuse football means. With Ricky Collins under center and one of the toughest schedules in the nation, this is a team that could go from underdog to ACC spoiler overnight. Iowa State doesn't win with flash. They win with fundamentals. Rocco Becht and that offensive line are built to withstand the chaos of a grueling Big 12 season. And with Matt Campbell running the show, there's no ceiling. Indiana flipped their identity in a single year, from doormat to disruptor. And now, with a proven head coach, a future NFL receiver in Sarrett, and a young quarterback hungry to prove himself, they've got every tool to make noise in the Big Ten. And then there's Liberty. While most Group of 5 teams hope for a bowl bid, Liberty wants more. Chadwell's offense isn't just creative, it's ruthless. With Ethan Vasco stepping in and a loaded roster returning, this program has a real shot at crashing the party. These aren't maybe teams. These are nightmare matchups for the programs sitting at the top of the polls. Because here's the truth. Every college football season has its villains, its heroes, and its chaos agents. And if you're looking for the chaos agents in 2025, you just met them. These are the teams that could ruin someone's perfect season, knock out a playoff contender, or even sneak their way into a New Year's Six Bowl, or more. They don't have five-star hype. They don't have ESPN documentaries, and they don't need them. They have something better: talent, coaching, and a chip on their shoulder the size of the Rose Bowl. So go ahead, underestimate them. But when one of these teams knocks off a top 10 opponent on national TV, don't say you weren't warned, because in 2025, the scariest teams are the ones you're not talking about yet. Hey, real quick, if you're loving the college football content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the End Zone U. Why? Because every like tells YouTube, hey, people are into this. That means our videos get shown to more college football fans, just like you. When you comment, it actually boosts the video and kicks off real debates. We read every single one, and yeah, we see the hot takes. And when you subscribe, that's a game changer. You stay updated, and YouTube puts us higher in the feed so more fans find our content. So, if you're into top 10s, bold predictions, and real CFB talk, hit that button. Welcome to the huddle. This is the End Zone U.